What's going on, everybody? It's Pito, aka PT Sports 84, back with another NBA 2K26 roster video. Today, I'm diving into something that I don't think a lot of you are aware of. Some of you that are roster makers, like myself, may be quite aware of this, but for those who are not and who are specifically interested in building a Curry era 2016 2017 roster in NBA 2K26. This is the video for you. Want to highlight a couple of, well, actually, quite a few signature shots that are featured in this era that are not featured elsewhere and that apply to the players that you're adding that are not officially included on the default roster. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. So, if you go to Anthony Walker of the Philadelphia 76ers, you edit the player there, you go to signature, and bam, there is Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot. So he has his signature added in there. We're going to go over to Kenny Long. Looking at his, you can see Nick Stauskas is added in. So in order to make sure that you keep those particular signatures, you could basically, if you're taking a creation from another roster, someone that might have created a face, you want to make sure you import the data, without importing the particular attributes of the player. As long as you keep the attributes, it'll keep the signature. You'll want to custom build the attributes yourself for each of the players. I'll run through the other teams of the players that are in here that are that have real signatures attached to them for players that are not featured. So next up is Paul Jennings of the Celtics. You can see there Avery Bradley is featured as the sig shots there. So next we go over to the Memphis Grizzlies, and we're going to go over to Jake Dumas. And you can go to signature there. You'll see JaMychal Green. And so there's quite a few of them in the baseline roster. So this is a good way to make sure that you're having the signatures already done. That'll save some time for the roster. It makes it more authentic. Next up, we're going to go over to the Miami Heat, Igor Saric. You can see there's Tyler Johnson. Then we go to the Charlotte Hornets. You got Trey Hood, and he is actually Jeremy Lamb's signatures. So that's a plus there. Next, we have the Utah Jazz, and we will go to Mo Westbrook. Mo Westbrook has Rodney Hood's signatures attached. Going over to the Sacramento Kings, Carl Baker, and he has Ben McLemore's signatures attached. We're going to go over to the Denver Nuggets. That's how far we have to skip ahead because there wasn't any in between that were, full-on signatures of players. So Juan Hernan Gomez is there under Byron Hardaway. Same team, so I'm just going to cycle through. Sean Bailey has Will Barton signatures. Or I should say the signature jump shots for players, so let me be clear with that. Next up, we're going to the Pelicans. And the Pelicans actually have two players on this roster. Well, three if you count the end of the season rosters, but I'll go to the other two players in a minute. Benny Murray is actually Tim Frazier's signatures. So you can see that there. And next up, we have for the Spurs, we actually have Julius Daniels, and he has Dwayne Dedman signatures. Skip ahead to the Trailblazers. And the Trailblazers, Brooke Grant actually has Jake Layman signatures. And then team-wise, last but not least, we have Anthony Swift here. And he is Tomas Satoransky there. Now, that's not all. So let's go to the free agent pool really quickly. And so within the free agent pool, there's quite a few players. I'm going to go in alphabetical order because it's easier to pull these doing it that way than kind of going all the way around. Actually, let me go back to the Pelicans because I missed one that's technically a free agent for the end of the season. Derek Crawford, he actually has the signatures of Elise Johnson, and Elise Johnson signed later in the season. So technically, at the beginning of the season, opening night rosters, he is a free agent. But let's go through the rest of them. I'm actually going to go backwards and start there. So let's go to Yogi Tolliver. Has Yogi Ferrell. Ferrell played for, I believe, Dallas and Brooklyn that season, if I remember correctly. So he's in there. You have another free agent, Bryn Forbes. He was with the Spurs, so he's under Samuel Rudd there. So those are just some hidden guys for the 16-17 rosters. And then it gets a little bit interesting because within the same kind of, in the same roster, they went ahead and they put some guys that are for the next season and beyond. So they went ahead and put in some various guys in different spots. So let's see really quickly. So, for example, Harry Kabengle actually has Harry Giles signatures. So as you're adding these guys in, you'll be able to utilize the draft classes, things like that, as far as players, and be able to get them into the game. We also have a couple others that I'll highlight as well really quickly. So we have Edmund Brown, and he is actually Edmund Sumner within the signature there. Let's go this way. So we have Justin Paul, and that's Justin Jackson. Then you have Gary Tucker, and Gary Tucker has Gary Clark signatures. Then you go Carson Brantley, Carson Edwards. It's just interesting, and it's only for this era. Like the other eras don't have hidden signatures or anything tied to it. So it's just funny that so many of these are kind of tied in there. There's a few variations, like you'd have a Rodney Magruder base, but then not have the rest of it. Same with Evan Fournier. There was a couple of those. But Tracy Butler is David Nwaba. Let's do this. Let's go to Tyrell Oliver. And he's actually Tyrell Terry, as you can see there. And then we have, got to go actually this way. Wenyen Aminu is actually Wenyen Gabriel. So you can see a lot of quick edits, I'll say, on 2K's part. They, must have thought they were going to get guys licensed and get them in, um, from there. But just a little secret I wanted to let you guys know about in case you're building the rosters for this particular um, era. And if you watch my other video, you know that Nicholas Brasino is in the 2015 draft. Gerald Henderson Jr. is in the 2009 draft. And if I remember correctly, Troy Williams is inside of the 2016 draft. So you can go grab all three of those players and then add them into this era and have their real faces added into the game. So that's just another hint that you guys can utilize for this Curry era as it's getting built out. So if you guys like this video and found this useful, make sure you're hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. This is the kind of content we dive through, a lot of things that people don't know about, or highlighting other things that people should know about for NBA 2K26 and beyond. As always, this is Pete Toll, aka PT Sports 84, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your weekend and take care.